Hey there, bird lovers! Welcome to our global adventure to discover the national birds of every country. Are you ready to meet some amazing birds? Let's get started. The national bird of Afghanistan is golden eagle. The national bird of Andorra is bearded vulture. The national bird of Angola is red-crested turaco. The national bird of Anguilla is Zenaida dove. The national bird of Antigua and Barbuda is frigate. The national bird of Argentina is Rufus hornero. The national bird of Armenia is golden eagle. The national bird of Aruba is brown-throated parakeet or prakichi. The national bird of Australia is emu. The national bird of Austria is barn swallow. The national bird of Bahrain is white-eared bulbul. The national bird of Bangladesh is oriental magpie robin. The national bird of Belarus is white stork. The national bird of Belgium is common kestrel. The national bird of Belize is keel-billed toucan. The national bird of Bermuda is Bermuda petrel. The national bird of Bhutan is common raven. The national bird of Bolivia is Andean condor. The national bird of Brazil is rufous-bellied thrush. The national bird of British Virgin Islands is turtle dove. The national bird of Cambodia is giant ibis. The national bird of Chile is Andean condor. The national bird of China is red-crowned crane. The national bird of Colombia is Andean condor. The national bird of Costa Rica is clay-colored thrush. The national bird of Croatia is nightingale. The national bird of Cuba is Cuban trogon. The national bird of Denmark is mute swan. The national bird of Dominica is Cicero parrot. The national bird of Dominican Republic is palm chat. The national bird of Ecuador is Andean condor. The national bird of Egypt is steppe eagle. The national bird of El Salvador is toragaz. The national bird of Estonia is barn swallow. The national bird of Faroe Islands is oystercatcher. The national bird of Finland is hooper swan. The national bird of France is Gallic rooster. The national bird of Germany is golden eagle. The national bird of Greece is little owl. The national bird of Grenada is Grenada dove. The national bird of Guatemala is resplendent quetzal. The national bird of Guyana is hoatzin. The national bird of Haiti is Hispaniolan trogon. The national bird of Honduras is scarlet macaw. The national bird of Hungary is saker falcon. The national bird of Iceland is gerfalcon. The national bird of India is Indian peacock. The national bird of Indonesia is Javan hawk eagle. The national bird of Iran is common nightingale. The national bird of Iraq is chakar partridge. The national bird of Ireland is northern lapwing. The national bird of Israel is hoopoe. The national bird of Italy is Italian sparrow. The national bird of Ivory Coast is white-cheeked turaco. The national bird of Japan is green pheasant. The national bird of Jordan is Sinai rosefinch. The national bird of Kenya is lilac-breasted roller. The national bird of Latvia is white wagtail. The national bird of Liberia is Arden bulbul. The national bird of Lithuania is white stork. The national bird of Luxembourg is goldcrest. The national bird of Malawi is African fish eagle. The national bird of Malaysia is rhinoceros hornbill. The national bird of Maldives is oriental turtle dove. The national bird of Malta is blue rock thrush. The national bird of Mongolia is saker falcon. The national bird of Mexico is golden eagle. The national bird of Montserrat is Montserrat oriole. The national bird of Namibia is African fish eagle. The national bird of Nepal is Himalayan monal. The national bird of Netherlands is black-tailed godwit. The national bird of New Zealand is kiwi. The national bird of Nicaragua is turquoise-browed motmot. The national bird of Nigeria is black-crowned crane. The national bird of North Korea is northern goshawk. The national bird of Norway is white-throated dipper. The national bird of Pakistan is chakar partridge. The national bird of Palau is Palau fruit dove. The national bird of Palestine is Palestine sunbird. The national bird of Panama is harpy eagle. The national bird of Paraguay is bare-throated bellbird. The national bird of Peru is Andean cock of the rock. The national bird of Philippines is Philippine eagle. The national bird of Poland is white-tailed eagle. The national bird of Romania is great white pelican. The national bird of Russia is tundra swan. The national bird of Samoa is tooth-billed pigeon. The national bird of Scotland is golden eagle. The national bird of Serbia is griffon vulture. The national bird of Singapore is crimson sunbird. The national bird of South Africa is blue crane. The national bird of South Korea is Korean magpie. The national bird of South Sudan is African fish eagle. The national bird of Spain is Spanish imperial eagle. The national bird of Sri Lanka is Sri Lankan jungle fowl. The national bird of Swaziland is purple-crested turaco. The national bird of Sweden is common blackbird. The national bird of Taiwan is Taiwan blue magpie. The national bird of Thailand is Siamese fireback. The national bird of Uganda is gray-crowned crane. The national bird of Ukraine is white stork. The national bird of United Arab Emirates is peregrine falcon. The national bird of United Kingdom is European robin. The national bird of USA is bald eagle. The national bird of Uruguay is southern lapwing. The national bird of Zambia is African fish eagle. And that's our journey around the world, exploring the incredible national birds of all countries. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more wildlife adventures.